So hey guys, and welcome to more Pillars of Eternity with me, Supernautus. We're still in Defiance Bay, as we were last time, yesterday. I did contemplate doing something a little less focused this evening, but I decided in the end that I want to play Pillars of Eternity. So we have a few quests that we can do here, and we've still got some areas here that we need to look through as well. That's something to do at Cadenua, which we will do eventually. But I've got all of these side quests here. Not that one, because that one's really not much use. Or that one right now. We've got traveled some cliffs. This we needed to find... What did I say I needed to do here? Find an affidavit that confirms the lineage of Penelm's soul. Signed by Curran. Cipher of Dunred Row. And we found Vienna. I need to give that back to Dunstan. Oh yeah, and I need to do that. I was going to go meet Maya, whatever her name is. There we go. Always good to have a few more warm bodies. Any progress with the thugs? I want to talk about that. I hear you've been raising prices. What else am I supposed to do? I have to provide certain measures for my employees. Don't get me started on cutthroat business, not with the Dominels carrying on the way they do. I could talk to the Dominels about their prices. Jernek, Bracanta Dominel would be the easiest to persuade. She handles the family books. You'll find her over in Brackenbury, potentially. So I guess that's where we're going. To Brackenbury. But that's... Did I just unlock a door I wasn't supposed to go through? Yeah, we don't need to go that way. We need to leave. Which is down this way. Okay, so let's try and get this quest out of the way. Sort out the pricing everywhere. I get the feeling, though, that this isn't... I don't know, this is the kind of mission that's going to be... I don't know. A bit more difficult to work on. Require a little more finesse than just beating people with weapons. But we'll see. I could be entirely wrong. It might be very easy to get rid of them. I just don't believe that to be the case. Oh, this guy's calling out for interested patrons, but he's a town crier. Right, so where did they say? Brackenbury. Brackenbury. 12 minutes. To get across there. And druids have a variety of area effect offensive spells. We don't actually have a druid in our group, do we? Well, anyway, so what do we say? House Dominel, I guess, is where we're looking to go there. Actually, let's take a look in the sanitarium before we do. I don't know if it's a great idea to go in here. Probably tied into some complete madness. But this is where the people that the dozens are bothered about live, I believe. Sometimes I get people in here trying to make trouble for the Animancers. Yeah, the Animancers are really in a lot of trouble from people that don't want to talk to them. I'm not going to do that right now. An Animancer from the Republics has requested a visit. Extend an invitation. Okay, so, wait. He's talking to a statue. And the statue is talking back. And so was turned asunder by a bioac. Who is that? Don't know. Any of these people want to talk, do you think? He's busy. We might have to go back and see if we can speak to him in a minute then. Because apparently he's too busy to talk to us. Too busy by half. What do we have here? A psalm to Woodica.
Won't get far like this.
Oh, apparently we're overloaded already. Animancy in the modern age.
Won't get far like this.
It won't get far like this, that's true. Okay, so there's not really much... There's not really many people we can talk to in here. I thought there would be. Mass attack poetry.
Not going anywhere like this.
The head warden is a statue. Remarkable. Can I talk to the statue? Aha! Head warden Ethelmer, a well-maintained statue of a middle-aged man, presides over the room, looking down, unblinking over the bustle of harried academics, pestered by the hopeful desperate. A strong warmth emanates from it that you could sense from across the room. There's a human soul stored beneath the stonework. You feel its attention turned towards you. It's been some time since a watcher graced these halls. He knows what we are straight away. I'm envious of your natural insights. I can only imagine how it might have helped my work and life. Now what is it that has brought you to my sanitarium? You may have a member of the Leaden Key in your midst. He groans. The stone shudders. Could have done without hearing that today. Many have their intrusions been into our affairs. Of course, one can seldom be certain whether they've meddled or whether calamity has struck on its own, but a few of their less skilled infiltrators have been exposed from time to time. They're a perpetual nuisance. Once again, I'm reminded of how envious I am of your gifts. I suspect they would be of some use in verifying one's identity. You're at odds with the Leaden Key as well, I take it. They have something I need. I hope it isn't knowledge. They're seldom keen to part with it. Do you have some idea of who this person might be? I suspect it's a patient. In that case, I would recommend you speak first with our resident animancers. They have frequent interactions with both patients and colleagues. You'll find them up here or in their offices downstairs. You'll report anything suspicious to me immediately. This is my only request. I'm curious as to how you are in your present state. In the statue, you mean, well, I was old and it seemed wrong to me, a lifetime spent in pursuit of discovery, only to lose it all in death. Somewhere, someday, I would wake up in a new body, none the wiser, and pursue a different course entirely. All that experience wasted. If we're ever to unearth the principles behind our existence, it will be in spite of our condition. Of that I'm quite sure. To live on as part of something I helped build seemed to me a better legacy than what nature had in store. The transfer itself was quite simple, as our techniques go, and for that I'm grateful. Playing with souls is far easier to accept when they're not your own. I do miss being able to take an active role in the scholarly efforts here. Now and again one of our animancers will humour me and consult over some problem, but they're a jealous breed and are too often afraid to collaborate. If you're considering it yourself, I can tell you that it isn't for the easily bored. Tell me about the sanitarium. A history lesson. This is a rare pleasure. Most come in here only concerned with cheating death in one way or another. We're an old institution as Deerwood goes. This is our 94th year. As with many cities, the growth of Defiance Bay brought with it a host of problems. One of the worst was that those born with, shall we say, ill-favoured souls came to populate its streets in droves. Thus, the sanitarium. Brackenbury was a natural fit. It was growing, but there was also a lot of money here back then. This place owes its survival to the curiosities of the wealthy, more than anything, I think. Our founding came at a time of great suspicion in animancy, much like today. So much progress has been lost to the mishaps of a few careless practitioners. But in time it was forgotten, as all things are. Since then we've been at the forefront of animancy's resurgence. We've played host to many gifted researchers, and pushed the boundaries of our knowledge in ways never thought possible. Some of the first safe transferences were done here, and we've pioneered work in soul purification, lineage analysis, preservation. It's really quite a list, if you'll pardon my pride. Today it's, well, I can't say it's exactly the same. There's been some push to shut us down. It comes from Deerwood's more excitable denizens, whose minds are more passionate than thoughtful, I'm afraid. People see this legacy, and they see it involves something they don't understand, so it's natural for them to suspect people whose understanding exceeds theirs. It looks to them like we're hiding something. We have a representative in the palace this very moment, defending the entire science of animancy at a hearing before the Duke. Absurd as it sounds, if it does not go well, it could be the end of animancy in Deerwood. I fear Avar may be swayed by all this unrest. Irrational though it may be, we shall see. Yep. Farewell. Oh, somebody is ready to level up. Oh, his head's missing again, look. Lore. Now what do I want this time? Yeah, let's do that. That works for me. Right, so we've got to speak to animancers. Animancy means progress. Animancer just nods at me. He's not interested in anything else. Welcome to the finest Animancy Centre. He said to talk to all the Animancers, but they've not got anything to say. You're welcome to browse. The spread of knowledge is a healthy thing. I would agree with that, yes. We see quite a few Brackenbury locals for treatment. It helps fund our research. That doesn't really help me. I'm looking for somebody. And I was told to go and speak to all the Animancers here. Has this guy finished talking yet?
Good day, stranger.
Odmer, has anything unusual or suspicious been happening around here? I think is the best thing to ask. Not up here, we can't be scaring off visitors and clients. Downstairs is where the more esoteric research is done. I'd check with the Animancers there. Okay, so downstairs is where we need to go. To find the man who waits. Does he work in a restaurant? If so, we better be ready to give him a tip. Tip of the sword, you know, if necessary. We'll soon find out, I guess. Let's go and visit the underground cells or wards or whatever they are. Oh, is there nothing this way? Okay, well that's fine. So we've got some rooms offshooting from the main drag here, I guess. Let's see what's in here. Here's a guy, Modred. An Animancer scribbles feverishly on a parchment scroll while his free hand dances through the air, counting off unseen objects. His lips move in silent discourse. As your shadow falls over a scroll, he looks up at you with mingled perplexity and irritation. Can I help you, he says. Has there been anything unusual happening around here? You must be joking, this is the sanitarium. Nothing is usual down here. Although now that I think of it, the patients seem more agitated lately, but they're Caedmon Azo's responsibility, not mine. What are you working on? My area of focus is Vichts. More specifically, how to cure them. What's a Vicht? We fought them. A Hollowborn who received a transplanted animal soul during infancy. One of Animancy's early efforts to cure the legacy, if not successful. They show signs of developmental abnormalities throughout their childhood, but when they reach adolescence they become aggressive and feral. Transplanting animal souls into them seems like an odd solution. We Animancers were trying to do something about the crisis, better than letting it swallow a generation of children. What kind of animals did you choose? Bears and things. Despite the controversy, it only went so far because at first it seemed to work. People called it the Salvation. Children that had never been responsive to any kind of stimuli suddenly seemed aware of their surroundings and their families. The complications don't begin until puberty, but that's when the incompatibilities between body and soul take shape. Children become violent and ravenous. We paid dearly for our mistake, I promise you. Angry mobs hunted us down and burned our homes. Why'd you study them? Yeah, think of all the families that could be healed. Animancy has an answer here. It has an answer for the problem it caused. Hopefully. But will anyone trust them enough to allow them to do it? Right, what do we have here? Bella Siege.
Hello.
Okay, it's a woman pacing back and forth, her feet crunching on the carpet, gesturing and mumbling to herself. She almost walks into me. Kosi, here I am, looking so hard for answers in my research that I do not see the kith standing in front of me. What can I do? Have you noticed anything unusual or suspicious here lately? It's rare for me to notice things that do not relate to my work, even when they're in front of me. Sientere amico, but I am not the best choice to help you with that. Well, what do you do here? According to my research grant, I study awakenings. Sublimating pre-awakened souls has been one of Animancy's greatest successes, and I'm working on a method to replicate the process on awakened souls. But the truth is that I find few suitable subjects here. Waidwin's legacy has left plenty of awakened souls, but most are too broken for study. Okay, so that's no use. We got an addendum to that quest, though. The Man Who Waits. Is this one of the main quests? I think it is. Yeah, it is. Mildred mentioned the sanitary. Bella Sage claims she wouldn't be the right person to ask about anyone's behaviour. Well, that door's open. Anyone in here? Ripley.
Good day to you.
A young Orlan woman traces her fingers along the spines of the books in front of her row by row. Her motions quick and skittish, like a bird's. She does not notice you until you're nearly upon her. Hey. Oh my, you startled me. Are you supposed to be in here? I'm investigating suspicious activity in the sanitarium. What should I say? She's just Master Azo's assistant. He'd know more about that, but he's in the middle of busy with some patients. You won't be able to see him until he comes out from the patient ward. Is he busy with patients, or is he running an experiment? Clearly. I'm just an assistant. It's not my place to gossip. I'm sorry. How'd I get in? Only Master Azo has access. I guess Head Warren Ethelmer does too, but he's, a statue. Yeah, so what do you do here? She helps Master Azo set up and clean his equipment. She's not a particularly helpful person, is she? Not really. What's this note? Ripley, I require more copper tubing for my next experiment. Do not requisition it from the sanitarium stores. I don't have the time to deal with the head warden's inevitable questions. Caedmon Azo. Okay, so he's wanting things without permission. I'm allowed to pick this lock. It doesn't have a... It didn't have a red lock on it. Okay, so there's a lot of notes here about patients, I guess. This is Batixa, the Pale Lady. Subject is female mid-40s awakened to a past life as a serial murderer, which now frequently emerges as the soul's dominant personality. Subject vacillates between violence and severe depression, resulting from guilt of past deeds. Weak candidate for present research. Sounds like it. Who's this one? Graham. Subject is a male, approximately early 30s, powers of speech absent, presumably as a result of the over-fragmentation of his soul. As such, he's the ideal subject for present research. However, experimentation has caused severe pain and induced panic, and I've had to enlist the aid of the guards in transporting him for more recent procedures. And you're making it worse, probably. What's this? Edelman, the Midnight Man. Subject is male, mid-20s, displays acute dissociation and paranoid delusional tendencies, causing anger and extreme violence. Dangers of working with the subject preclude possibility of further use in present research. Who knows which one of these it could be. Uskrim. Subject is male, approximately 17, admitted for episodes of catatonia followed by occasional violent outbursts. Initial analysis of soul revealed severe fragmentation and essence deficiency. Said deficiency all but eliminates the possibility of utilising the subject in present research. So what, they just keep them in rooms with no chance of ever healing them. And what's this? It's a cell. The edges of the cage are dented and scored with claw marks. Is this where they did like transferences of animal souls into people, and that's where they keep the wild animals? Did I go in that room? Oh yeah, I did. Wouldn't mind being better armed, so what if it makes the clients a little nervous? And I never thought I'd be taking orders from a talking statue. I could see the lock there, but the people just keep getting in the way. There we go. Unlocking this will require the proper key. Okay, so we can't get in there until this guy comes out. But how long is that going to take? I just don't know. I just want to check something actually. I don't really want to know about Animancy and the Valian Republics. But okay. It's a dynamic and respected field. Even the Bale Reach incident did little to slow it. Exciting. It's a shame that so many here are so hostile. It is, but such is the way of the Durwood. People here are fierce about their sovereignty, but they're not so independent from their Aedarin brothers and their Glanfathan neighbours as they would like to think. That's exciting. Now, the question is, do we have to try and find another way in? Let's see what our quest log says. Talk to Ethelmer about Azo. Yeah, maybe the warden or whatever can give us access. He's not... I mean, I doubt he's going to be able to give us the key because he's a statue, but stranger things have happened. There was no suggestion, for what I can see from reading those kind of profiles of the patients, that there was any interest in any of them as the one we're looking for. So I don't really know who we're supposed to talk to. Right.
Greetings.
Found records that Azo may be running questionable experiments. Experiments? Caedmon Azo is in charge of patient welfare now. I'll try reading that again, maybe. Caedmon Azo is in charge of patient welfare now. It's a bit better. He's not authorised to run any more experiments. I am disappointed in Caedmon. I'd hoped he would be the one to guide your inquiry. He'll be in his office or in the patient wards. I'm granting you immediate access so you can find him. No doubt you'll wish to speak to him further on this matter. And I, for one, am curious as to what he might have to say. Tread carefully in the wards. There are a few dangerous cases. I would ask also that you do your best not to agitate the patients. They have enough troubles as it is. Yeah, like being experimented on by some lunatic who was told not to experiment anymore. Hey, don't do that. Yeah, okay. See you later. There you go. No, just to attend to my patients. With this saw. What? Okay, so now we apparently have access to this room. But I wonder what we'll find when we get in here. All the patients are just wandering around freely. Yeah, pretty much. Frail. A curved spine twists this woman's posture forward. Her greasy hair draped over her large eyes like vines. She smiles at me and says I must be visiting someone. Then, noting our appearance, adds, a friendly visit, I hope. Well, I don't know. What do you know about Azo? Oh, I like him very much. Many animancers could care less about their patients, look at us like vermin for their experiments. But Master Azo treats us like humans, even the very sick. You can tell he does this to help people. He's helped me understand a great deal about myself, and I know he's done the same for others. It's too bad what they did to him. He hides it well, but I know he's still affected by it. Well, what happened to him? They don't like to talk about it, but there was an accident. He was said to be one of the brightest in Durwood. That was his reputation. Here. That was his reputation here, and that was what brought me to seek treatment. People say it was ego that drove him to try and solve the legacy, but that's hogwash. Even if he was a bit of a showman, he loves his homeland. He thought he could help. He wasn't one to speak of his work, suspected his colleagues might have tried to steal it, but he told me once that he'd figured out a way to create a soul. Not a soul exactly, mind you. How did he put it? A proxy, I think he called it. Had some machine that drew energy out of the very ether. Can you imagine? The point is, it was going to help with the legacy. It was going to make Hollowborn into something easier to love and care for. Gods know that's something we need. Do you know what they call those empty little babies in Ondra's gift? Go on, tell me. They call them boys, because so many of them are found floating face down in the water. These are mad times. Anyway, Master Azo had scheduled a public demonstration of his work in Copper Lane. He was so excited. And then the next day he was locked in his office, turning away visitors. I heard. And he stopped seeing patients. I don't know exactly what happened, and I don't have the heart to ask him, but I'm glad they're letting him treat people again. Do you know where he is? I think I saw him around today. Have you checked the laboratory? It shares a wall with his office. He's been spending most of his time there lately. So that's down at the bottom here. Have any of the patients here been acting unusually? Well, there's Batixa, who relives a murder she committed more than 5 lifetimes ago. Edelman, who they say only has half a soul and who was found collecting the faces of others. Nice, because he believed his own to be a false one. Graham, he speaks in a language no one understands and wails at night sometimes. Well, different from their normal behaviour, I mean. Well, yes, I suppose, but nothing they didn't volunteer for. Mr. Azzo let us know that a number of patients in the North Ward had volunteered for a new therapy and would be escorted to his laboratory to receive treatment. Oh yeah, that sounds promising. The North Ward has our most troubled cases. I'm glad some of them have chosen to get help. It seems to me it's gotten quieter over there since it started. Well, is anyone alive over there? It's Graham. I see them taking in the most. He struggles, but he always was a bit of a wild one. Can I visit the North Ward? They like to keep them separate. I don't know what I've ever seen the guards allow a visitor. Just Master Azzo. You might ask him. He's very sympathetic. And why are you in here? I don't want to say. You'll think less of me. I wouldn't worry about that. It's not very nice, is it? You tell me I'm going crazy too. Do we want to be flirting with these people? I'm listening. These last few years haven't been kind to me. They haven't been kind to anyone, really. I try not to think of it as personal. I lost my husband and both boys in the Saints' War. My daughter, the legacy, took her before she was ever mine. I made do. What else can you do? I don't know. Moved into a tiny place in Andra's gift. Got by mending clothes and on the kindness of strangers when I had to. But I was surviving and the gods were watching over me. I could live with that. Then one day this noblewoman comes in. Wants this fancy gown fixed. Gorgeous thing. This shade of blue I'd never seen before. Only I had. I looked at it and it reminded me of something. I had what they call an awakening. I remember being a noblewoman myself in another life. People doting over me. Men doting over me. Me! The best food. The most beautiful home. All the things you'd never dare to dream of. They were mine. It was poison knowing that. All those things I had that I'll never have in this life. It did something to me. My food started to taste rotten. The walls of my little room seemed to close in around me. I stopped being able to sleep in my own bed. So I came here. It was that or break into an estate and start ordering servants around. It seems like such a silly thing to worry about. You don't have to tell me. But I can't get past it. And I start to wonder, did the gods choose this life for me? And if so, what terrible thing must I have done to deserve it? Maybe you'll get there again one day. If not in this life, then in another. The strange part is I think even the best wouldn't be good enough for me anymore. I think it must have gotten to that point when I was that noble lady. Maybe. Maybe. What is this over here? A flesh construct. Okay. Seems a bit crazy. Mr. Azzo said he'd make me better soon. He probably says that to everyone. I've been hearing screams in the night. The children they keep down here, pure evil in their eyes. Okay. They said I can't leave yet. I can tell, because you're still here. I don't like this place. Does anybody? Right, so his laboratory must be down there. Through that doorway. But I'm going to go and have a look around everywhere else first. If we can. Well, there's a lot of these flesh constructs around. Okay, well there's nothing to do up here. But good to know we've got lockpicks lying around where people who are unstable can get hold of them. Okay, no, it looks like we have to go that way. That's his office, so this must be his lab here. Well, let's go and see. Is he in here? That'll be him, I guess. Caedmon Azzo. A round-faced, balding man turns to face me. His upper lip is pulled upward, slightly by his pointed nose, exposing his upper teeth when he scowls.
What is the meaning of this?
Of this specifically? Ethelmer told me you're not supposed to be doing any more experiments. Yes, well, Ethelmer hasn't done much good for anybody since he had his soul moved to an inanimate object. So I fail to see why I should let that sway me. If animancers all followed the commands of their leaders, where would we be? We'd all be as backward and willfully ignorant as Redcerus. We would know nothing about life or death, or even ourselves. We would be lost in the dark with no clue as to why. I never thought I'd find myself in agreement with a statue, but Ethelmer's right about this fellow at least. How easily ambition masquerades as prudence. I'll bet he's fooled even himself. You toy with things beyond our comprehension, it's dangerous and foolish.
Are you Widewin himself?
He's going to speak himself now.
Radical belief in learning who I am and why I exist? Please. You are afraid because men have taught you to be afraid. Because they were taught to be afraid. These things are only beyond our comprehension because of the fears of people like you.
I thought we were never going to get someone who could speak.
Who will solve Widewin's legacy? Some church? Some warrior? It will be an animancer, or it will be no one at all.
Have you tried your experiments on any other subjects? Oh, but he doesn't speak all the time. I have, yes. No point in lying about it now that Ethelmer's involved. I asked for more volunteers from our patients, and a few brave souls came forward. I was very close at one time to a breakthrough. They understood that. They understood their sacrifices would mean something. So I hear you were demoted. How did it happen? That's none of your concern. Did one of the others put you up to this? Odmer, that smug weasel? Things went wrong. Everything. I don't know how. I'll never know. He spits on the floor as if to remove a bitter taste from his mouth. I'd like to get into the North Ward. Out of the question. Those patients are in isolation for a reason. I've seen your records. I know what you're doing with them.
Those are private. You have no right.
I've been given full access. He balls up his fist and digs his teeth into his index finger. A growl simmering beneath his breath and a deep scowl compressing his face. Well, he better not attack me, because he's on his own, and that wouldn't be a smart thing to do.
Fine. Speak to them for all the good it'll do you. I'm sure the discussions will be fascinating.
He's giving me a heavy key to get into the ward. So it looks like we've got to do some... Well, we failed that lockpick. The difficulty is 6 and his mechanic skill is 4. Does nobody have a higher one? No? Okay, so we've got some rooms here, some private rooms for patients, I guess? More like cells. Really. Doesn't look like there's anything in any of them though. You know, just in case there's any little items we can pick up. Again, nothing. Something in there though. Oh, a patient. What's this one got to say? Master Azo said he'd make me better soon. Yeah, there's another one saying the same thing. I've been hearing screams in the night. Okay, well we spoke to someone who said that already. So I guess we're on the right track. Nobody in there. That's the one we just spoke to. And that's just an empty corner. These things look like they're ready to attack us at any moment. Children they keep down here, pure evil in their eyes. Pure evil, or is it the fact that they just don't have any soul? No speak. Okay. What about you? No visitors. That's where we... Was that door there before? That's the door we have to unlock, I guess. Let's take a look up here first. There's nothing else. Oh no, there is an area up here to look at. May as well investigate a bit further before we head into the North Ward. Oh, maybe that's the North Ward. Keep your distance. Wicket's in that cell back there. We've had incidents when people got close. Okay, so we really don't want to go in there then. Wickets or Victs, or I don't know. A little library with some valuables. Nobody's watching. Admeth Hadrit Part 1 Rise to Power. I'm sure they won't be missing that money. So we shouldn't go through that door then, you're saying? Okay. I won't. For now. I would expect that probably what's going to happen, you know, this is being one of the main quest missions, they're going to break out or something. North Ward restricted. Yeah, I know that. But I've been given the key. Okay. So we're probably about to meet some people who we'd be better not to meet. I'm going to close the door. I don't think anyone will try to escape. The only thing that's kind of annoying is sometimes positionally things don't work so well. This character's busy. I don't know what they could be busy doing, but see, like, I can't... Is this my face? Tell me. Oh, this must be the guy who's taking people's faces. What about this way? Apparently there's nobody in there. Thundering sky, rain of blood, innocents must drown. Well, I mean, that's a little extreme, but that makes you feel better, I suppose. Look at that. Where do I have to stand to speak to these people? Maybe I can't speak to this one. They're too busy. We'll try that in a minute. There's another one in here. So we can't actually go in to the cells or anything. Again, he's too busy. One sec. So, okay, he's too busy because I can't... Right, do you know what? You guys stand over there. See if that makes it any easier for me to chat to people. No, apparently I just can't get access to these people. I have to admit, the controls on the Xbox version can sometimes be a bit annoying. The man has a look in his eyes of a hunted animal, and at your approach he staggers backward to the far corner of his cell, halfway appearing as though he would climb the walls if it would get him further away from me. He cries out a bizarre primal utterance like nothing I've heard. I need to ask you some questions. He looks at me blankly. It's unclear whether he understands me or not, but his panic has subsided. He opens his mouth to speak, but the words that come out are half-formed as though his tongue was cut out. They're impossible for me to discern. You're afraid. Do certain visitors make you afraid? He looks at me with uncertainty. Slowly and tentatively he steps closer to the front of his cell, and as he does so, for the first time I perceive his soul within my ken. It's misshapen as though maimed by some jagged instrument. Large expanses of it have been gouged out entirely. I feel no resistance. If I want to, I could look further. Yeah, okay. I project out towards the maimed soul in front of me, merging with its confusion and fear, becoming mine as it whisks me into its depths. Have I made a mistake? You're in your cell. A key turns. The door creaks open on neglected hinges. Thoughts come to you in waves, incomplete, broken, fearful. Standing at the door is a rotund, balding man. His upper teeth and pointy nose remind me of a rat. He beckons, apologetic. You don't want to go. Anything else in your mind is a single word, and that word is no. But it dissolves before it reaches your lips. You press against the back wall cornered. You cry out. In darkness you fight against unseen restraints. You cannot move your arms or legs. The man walks into the room carrying a lit candle, its meagre flame casting long shadows across books and machinery. Straps bind my arms and legs. Cold metal circumscribes the crown of my head and the breadth of my chest. The man is sorry. He's in need of raw materials. They dismantled his work, and he needs another source. He needs to show them he was right. He thanks me. Then he turns a knob, and you feel yourself begin to crack from within, and you can feel pieces of me torn away. I need to decide whether this is past or present tense. Like having your insides chewed by a horde of rats, or whether I should say me or you, and you're screaming a scream you can barely hear. Another night, heavy footsteps outside my door, coming for me. They look through a slit in the door. The flesh giant, the artificial being, is just outside, but facing left, facing the end of the hall. The boy there. The boy looks with interest at the giant, then collapses to the floor like a shed snakeskin. The giant convulses for a moment, then rights itself, turns away and leaves. Very interesting. Graham looks at me wild-eyed, but more present. He nods, then walks to the back of his cell. So there's a child, a boy, somewhere in here who's able to mess with these flesh constructs. I can see the person, but I can't... Right, just again, you guys stand there for a moment. I can't speak to everyone, it seems like. Or maybe I can, and I'm just messing it up.
These poor people. This isn't the treatment that they were promised upstairs by the cushioned seats and lush carpets.
No, it certainly wasn't. But then I don't think that was for their benefit.
Is that the cure for soul sickness? To be thrown into a cell and subjected to the whims of your captor?
Yeah, I doubt the wealthier citizens have the same experience. I'm sure they have their share of family members they'd rather forget. But if we were all treated like this, the sanitarium would never survive. What did these patients do to warrant these conditions? Just as many who come here and are cured of their ills, people who would otherwise be cast aside. I hope so, you're probably right. It's just hard to see. Let's be on our way. This place gnaws at the soul. Well, but we're not leaving, so you might not like it, but I'm afraid there's nowhere else for us to go. Right, so this must be where this boy is that they were talking about. Just you guys stand there for a moment. Oh, good. Yeah, stand right in front of the door. That's helpful. A willowy adolescent boy stands in the centre of his cell, gawkish and stoop-shouldered. He stares straight ahead. The occasional blink is only movement, and it's unclear whether he registers my presence at all behind his glassy, doll-like eyes. In this state, the barriers between my soul and his are thin and porous, easily bypassed. He managed to take control of a flesh construct. Should I reach out for his soul, am I about to make a serious mistake? Well, I thought that about the last guy and I was wrong. I close my eyes and edge forward toward the boy's soul, and as you near... We'll go with you and read it properly. A sudden malaise comes over you. You're cold and warm all at once, sweating and shivering and straining for breath, as you did on the caravan journey. The soul you approach is the wrong one, a parasitic plant that strangles its host. It's predatory and pitiless, and I've crossed paths with it before. Too late does it occur to me to retract, and already I feel myself plunging into an interminable abyss of thought and memory. You are dead. No. You're standing in a cell now, the same cell. In the sanitarium, the halls are moonlit and empty, and I'm waiting. At the far end of the ward, the door opens, revealing a flesh golem in silhouette beneath the stone archway. It makes its usual rounds. The same stops every time. The misbegotten child of despondent creators. When the construct is close, you coil yourself up and spring forward. Passing out of the boy's body as though it were a membrane. You can sense his body behind you collapsing to the floor, a puppet whose strings are cut. You're rushing toward the golem now, bodiless as a gust of wind. Quickly you think to yourself, quickly, and you feel the strength hemorrhaging from your soul as you dart towards the makeshift abomination. You pass into the golem's shell and overtake the soul implanted within, encircling it, suppressing it, and contained in this new vessel, you're strong again. You step heavy-footed down corridors unheeded by the other constructs, and scrutinised only by the wary, untrustworthy eyes of the mad. Coming at last to an office piled with books and scribbled papers and the perverse implements of animancy, you set your oversized hands upon a large machine, a nest of globes and tubes and coils in the centre of the room, and go to work bending wires and unsettling alignments. Your surroundings are pulled past you, or perhaps you're pulled past them, and they dissolve into a blur. When they settle into place again, you're outside on a clear day, standing in front of a crowd stacked high above you on tiered seats of an amphitheatre. You're acting for the crowd. Uh-oh. Standing deliberately still, but this is no play. There are those actors out there, aren't there? A balding man with rodent-like features is strapping you to a machine. That'll be the doctor that we spoke to. The one you'd tampered with. You see your arms for the first time, short and fleshy, unmistakably those of a little girl, but this body is not truly yours. Your mind still holds the same determination, the same hard-heartedness as before. The body itself is cold and vacuous. Unlike the others, this one has no soul of its own. The man speaks and the crowd applauds with an enthusiasm worthy of a hero's entrance. "Bear witness," he says, and he pulls a lever. The machine shivers and sparks, and a bead of sweat rolls down the side of the man's brow. But the crowd's apprehension quickly gives way to awe, as a crystal globe fills with a radiant mist that casts the entire theatre aglow. He opens a valve and the glow crawls through a tube, along a length of copper wiring that runs to a set of electrodes beneath your armpits. You feel nothing when it reaches you, as it should be, for you've been leading his work astray periodically for some time, altering notes and settings and playing puppeteer for Hollowborn, but you make it look how people would expect it to look when a body's infused with a soul. In a moment the machine goes dark and the man unstraps you, eyeing you with a scientist's concern. He looks back up at the crowd. "Behold," he says, but there's obvious hesitation in his voice. Slowly you take a plodding step forward, then another, and another. You look up at the man, giving him the eye contact of which no Hollowborn is capable, and the crowd gasps. The man looks relieved. "How do you feel?" he asks, at a volume meant for the crowd. And this is the moment at the top of your lungs you let out a piercing shriek. The man comes towards you, his hands outstretched, but you run the other way back to the machine. With all your strength, you drive your head into the crystal globe, and it shatters, streaking your head with warm blood. You drive your head down onto the surface of the machine again and again, drawing panicked screams from the crowd, and by the time the man reaches you, your body has already ceased proper function and merely twitches on the cold ground. Satisfied, you depart the corpse, in search of another unsuspecting host. Who could put their faith in animancy now? Yeah, I think we've found the guy. You're pulled again from your surroundings, transcending the boundaries of memories and lifetimes, deeper and deeper past betrayals and murders and lies upon lies that form the thick webbing of plots beyond mortal comprehension. You settle at last on a room you've seen before, expansive, with a tall device encasing an Adra monolith at its centre. The room is filled with people, and the people all look at the device. You're yanked suddenly back to reality, and the once catatonic boy in the cell is looking directly at you, appraising, calculating. There's no mistaking now that it's the soul of the man who caused your awakening that gazes out from that borrowed husk. A watcher. Now what do we say? You made me into a watcher, I need you to undo it. I believe we share a common past. Not just a watcher, someone who'll break those frail little legs of yours if you don't do what I tell you. You made me into a watcher, I need you... yeah, we'll do that one. Is that so? He makes no effort to hide his disinterest, but he continues to search your eyes. He makes a slight grunting noise and his eyes soften for an instant, and it seems for that moment that he recognises you. He opens his mouth to speak, then seems to think better of what he is about to say. His jaw tightens. I know your look. You hunger for answers that elude you. It gnaws at your soul, it usurps your reason for being. You're like everyone. I'll help you let go. He dodges backward with a startling grace, putting himself out of reach. On his face there's no malice, only the dispassion of a farmer putting down a sick animal. Then he slumps forward. He's gone into the flesh construct. And the other one. Yeah, we're going to have to fight these constructs. And who knows, maybe the patients as well. Oh my goodness, it's even worse. I'm going to have to kill everyone. Better make sure everyone's attacking then. Oh. His room just opened. Take them down before he decides to take us over or something. We can't attack him just yet. The good news is the constructs are quite slow, although I'm not sure how tough they really are. Come on. Now that one. And this one. And when there's none left... Well, I don't know, will he wake up? Has destroying all of that... I was going to say has destroying all of them killed him, but of course he was doing this to them already, wasn't he? Does this mean he's actually dead this time? I'm just a little concerned about what's going to happen when we go out through the other doors. I don't know why I took all their stuff, because it's not like they had anything worthwhile on them. I don't think any of these cells have anything in them that's worth taking. No. Doesn't look like it. But do you think we'll get attacked as soon as we come out this door? I reckon so. Yep. He's taking them all over. That one was easy, but there's another one. I'm not close enough to do that attack, I don't think. Well, maybe I'm okay. Okay, but what's... Obviously there's that door there. I'm going to just go round here again, because I know there would have been some constructs here. I wonder if that guard at the other door... Oh my... I just thought that room up there that the guard was at. I hope he hasn't opened the door. Oh, he has. They're out. Of course they are. And they've probably eaten the guards. Is that it? Are we done? Okay, good. They don't have much that's worth taking. Just vessel flesh. Okay, we obviously have to fight him. I mean, our magic attacks do tend to take him down pretty quick. I'm hearing more. We'll go through that door in one moment. Let's see if there's anything in this library. The books have been scattered. Or maybe it was always like that, was it? I can't remember. But let's see what's in here, because this is where they were keeping these people. These poor, unfortunate people. An S-Stock. Doesn't do a bad bit of damage, but
Won't get far like this.
we'll see if it's any use for any of our companions shortly. Okay, so all of those vessels. There's another one. Oh, looks like they might have killed all the guards as well. I just hope they haven't taken over the whole place. Oh, we got some more of them. Yeah, so they've probably eaten the patients. I'm not too concerned about them though, because, you know, it didn't take long. I wonder if the guy is in his that door's open. That's a problem. He's still alive. You've been mangling their souls. How could you possibly... Look, it had to be done. Ethelmer and the others, they took everything from me. Everything when I was this close. I had to know. Had to know where I failed and why. If it means a chance of stopping the legacy, you have my silence. I mean, he's going to have no one to experiment on. No one has come that close with the legacy. It's why I have to continue.
I trust that you'll do what's right for Deerwood.
Don't hold everyone accountable for his mistakes. You trust a mad dog to hunt for you. I didn't say I trust him. I didn't say I'm not going to turn him in. Now, there was nobody in any of these cells, but there were people around, and now there's no one. So it's safe to say that every single one of these patients has been slaughtered. Let's go back to where that guy's cell is just to see if, because there's no one down here, if he's still alive or not. Before I go out of this ward. No, he's definitely dead. Or if he's not dead, he's transplanted his soul into someone else. Well, let's see what the damage is. Anyone alive in here? No. I've got a bad feeling. Well, not a bad feeling. I've got a feeling that everybody's dead. Is this person that we talked to in here still alive? Oh no. No, we've already spoken to her. She didn't have much to say. And she still doesn't. I guess they're not interested in the fact that a load of murderous creatures just got released. The head warden must be told what's going on down here. He will be. I'm going to tell him. I'm getting out of here. It's not safe anymore, says the cowardly guard. Was it ever safe? With those kinds of patients down there? If they could just unlock their cells, apparently. And the question is, did we destroy that guy, or what happened? Here's a client. You'll want to be talking to an animancer, not me. What the blazes happened down there? You were given permission to ask questions. Yeah, he was working for the Leaden Key without knowing it. I have read accounts of people in history who could do what you described. The accounts are few and brief and never reliable. Some go as far as to suggest that they're all the same person. If truly such a person was here among us, plotting our ruin, would that I had a body again and could be of some real use in our time of need. I fear what the future may hold for this place. I'm grateful you were able to dispatch the threat before there was loss of innocent life. Here, all these patients down here, were they guilty of something? I suppose a couple of them were murderers, but were they all bad? I'm grateful you were able to dispatch the threat before there was loss of innocent life. Uh-huh. We very nearly had another scandal on our hands. What, you think no one's going to find out? Yeah, I mean, if I hadn't come along, his experiments would have resulted in a scandal. There's no doubt about that. At the worst possible time, say no more, Cade Manazzo is no longer welcome at this facility. I don't think he'd be able to resolve the problems anyway. So, the question is that quest completed? Yes. We subdued Uskrum. So that was a main quest, and we didn't actually mean to do one of the main quests. I meant to do... Yeah, I was going to talk to Thrustwin, who's at the inn. And also there's a person we need to speak to in one of the houses here too. To try and reduce the prices for the salty mast. An appropriate name, considering what the place is. Okay, so... Uh-oh. What we got here?
Hail, traveler.
Hail. He has a message for me. You're summoned to Hadrit House, where Lady Webb wishes to meet with me as soon as possible. They say she's an ancient spider spinning her nets throughout the city. If she wishes to see you, that either bodes very well or very ill. Where can I find Hadrit House? It's just over there. Southwest corner of Brackenbury. You'll find her upstairs. How did you know where to find me? She knows everything. Very well. But I'm not going to her right this second. I'll go to her in a minute. She doesn't get to just boss me around. Yet. Okay, let's go and see. We have to go to this crime family's house. I don't want to spend too much time speaking to those people just because I would spend an awful lot of time. I was going to say I would spend an awful lot of time reading things and not doing an awful lot, but I mean, I suppose that's what I was doing already. Maybe. Okay, so we're looking for somebody in here. I want to speak with Bricanta Domina. Oh, I could just say I'm just here to loot the place and kill anyone in my way. But I don't want to do that. She's upstairs in the room at the end of the hall. Mind your manners. But what if I don't have any? What then? So she's in the room at the end of the hall. Do I think she's going to reduce her prices for this place? Probably not. Okay, so I guess they mean this room? Oh no, wait. Probably that room. I'm a friend of who?
Good day to you.
Oh, this is who I want. The woman must be well into middle age, but there isn't a line on her face. Her large green eyes are watchful. Behind a curtain of glossy black hair, she studies me. I don't believe we've met. I'd remember you. I understand you control bitter squash seeds in Defiance Bay. I'd like to see the price lowered for the salty mast. I don't know who told you that, but even if it were true, you're asking for a favour. And I only do favours for friends. But we could be friends. I just need a little something from you first. I don't take orders, I give them. Oh my! That would be interesting if only my husband weren't in the next room. Not that I don't appreciate the offer, but I'm thinking of a different kind of favour. Yeah, I don't... Okay. What kind of favour did you have in mind? There's a certain someone who may or may not be named Colfeg. He's insulted me. I'd like you to make an example out of him. By doing what? I'd hate to stifle your imagination. Chop off his toes? One by one, slowly? No? Just see that you teach him a lesson he won't soon forget. I'm not going to torture him, because that's weird. If that's what it takes, then so be it. That's the spirit. I know the little runt holes up somewhere in Andra's gift. Once you've taken care of him, come back to me. I've got some stocks that I reserve for special friends. I'm assuming you mean stocks of the stuff I'm asking about and not somewhere to lock me up. Hopefully. I mean, some people, she might be into that kind of thing, but we're a bit busy right now. Okay, so we've got a quest to turn in. in the inn, and we've also got to go meet this lady here, see what she wants. She's luring us into her web. I'm only saying that because they called her a spider. I mean, as long as we don't walk in and she actually is a spider. Like with legs wrapped round her body, pretending to be a human in a tightly fitting dress. I think the 8 eyes would give her away a bit. 8 eyes? Multiple eyes? They've obviously got 8 legs, I mean... And she might be a bit hairy looking too. But maybe some people are into that too. Okay, so we'll head up to the charred barrel first and pretend I didn't say anything about that at all. Because that's put an image in my head that's a bit odd. Much worse for anyone who has a fear of spiders, I'm sure. You go to work one day and your boss is a spider wrapped up inside your boss's clothes.
Good day to you.
Okay, so we got the medallion from Sorel, and it's for his clan or town or whatever. So we'll give it to him. You've given my people a gift we couldn't possibly repay. I'll do the best I can, though. This is everything I have. Take it, please. This isn't quite everything you have. Yeah, okay. Of course. He slides the rings off his fingers and shrugs off his robe. What the hell? He's never really fit me anyway. Take it with my blessing. Is that really everything? We just make that guy go home without any clothes on. Let's see what he gave us anyway. I've got way too much stuff here, by the way. Right, what's this? A minor ring of deflection. That'll help me. Stick that on there. What else do I have? Most of that's just not much use. A cloak of many feathers, dexterity +1, and an athletic. Just athletic. Okay. Oh, there's another ring. Resolve. I think probably I'll give that to him. See, you put helmets on these people and their face disappears. Right. Oh. No. Bit of a mistake there. Okay, so I want to check, because I have a... Oh, come on. I have like a Morning Star type thing. Here, a flail with a shield. I wonder if you could fight like two-handed with flails. I mean, it wouldn't be a very good method of combat, because you'd just be hitting yourself continuously. But there's so much crap here. Most of it is just rubbish. Does anyone need a better armor? Not really. Not at all. Well, not that one anyway. A dagger. No one uses daggers. Adair could maybe use a different bow, because he's had that one for quite a while. That's 16 to 24. 17 to 26. Properties fine. Accuracy versus deflection. Reliable wounding and damaging 3. I think we'll let him keep that one. Doesn't appear to be much that's actually worth having there. So we'll sell all that. I'm not going to just throw it away. In fact, that means I can sell all that right now. Oh, not with that one.
Welcome.
Oh wait, I don't have... They don't sell anything here. Or not only food. So I need to find a merchant somewhere that I can sell all this stuff to. For now, let's go and have a look at this other house now then. This woman that wanted to speak to us. We should have cleared a couple of side missions there. Well, one side mission, because of course, when we went to speak to that other person, they just gave us another quest. As is their wont to do. Let's see. What's this? The Theorems of Pangram. Ned and Nanomancer met in the... Oh yeah, that's to get... Yeah, okay, that's fine. We can do that. Need to do that. That's the one where we need to deal with that guy. There's a cave we can go to for that one. I need to give Viana's research to Dunstan. Osric, I need to get a breastplate from Penhelm. But I don't know where he is. Travel to these cliffs. Odnua, and yeah, that one we can't really do anymore, I don't think. Okay, but let's go and find this house. So it's Hadrit House right down there. Below the Ondra's Gift exit. We do seem to be very sword heavy in this party. Uh-oh. It's the older robbed? It's the older robed man! As we near the apparition, you're overcome suddenly by a powerful anxiety that sits like a stone in your stomach. The feeling is not quite real, the recollection of an emotion rather than the emotion itself. It wrenches your insides nevertheless. The apparition's brow is tensed, a look of concern playing across its face. The other missionaries
say you have been
Oh, he talks.
duties.
My mind has been elsewhere.
Oh? And what troubles you?
Who you are. The pain in your stomach deepens and you feel for a moment as though you're about to be sick. Your mouth has gone dry. Forgive me, Eminence, I wish to leave the order. He folds his fingers together and presses them to his mouth, thoughtful. You've been an apt student.
An apt student, and your
Make your mind up whether you're
convictions
talking or
have
not.
inspired those around you. May I ask what has changed to make you feel this way?
The people we intended to convert, they committed unspeakable acts, sacrifices and mutilations. The apparition exhales slowly and its lips pressed together, a sympathetic rapport in its eyes. It places its hand on your shoulder.
These are the ways of the heathen world.
Surely the gods would do better to destroy us all and start anew.
Perhaps they would. It may come to that one day. This is why we must not fail. The heathens are beyond the gods' reach. They do not know better. We are tasked with delivering them to the gods, so that the gods may heal their souls.
Yeah, but is that even possible?
I have seen it with my own eyes. You will see it too, if you choose to remain. There is no greater calling than the one we have chosen. Neither words, nor wealth, nor battle will end.
Choose to remain or cult exit.
Only the gods. Will you give them that chance?
Will I? The knot in your stomach seems to loosen all at once, and the anxiety is replaced with something else entirely. Something warm and soothing, and it's something you know you can never repay. As the vision fades, you start to become cognizant of the many odd looks aimed in your direction. Your last response echoes in your mind. I will. Why? Because the guy talked you into it. That's why. Okay, let's go and see what this woman wants to talk to us about. She's upstairs in here, apparently. Maybe we'll have to fight our way upstairs. I hope not. There's a lot of people in here, though. Which stairs? There's those ones. They go up. And there's these ones. It looks like they might go to the same place, actually. We have here Dunrid Agent. Let's see who's in here first. Dunrid Agent.
Hello.
Curran. You carry whispers, kid. Knew it at Gilded Vale. Old voices indeed. How did you know? As a cipher, it's my job to know these things. You carry the whiff of ancients. What else can you tell me? Not as much as I'd like, unfortunately. My duties for Lady Webb require me to focus my talents elsewhere. And what brings you to Dunward Row? Is the affidavit real? Oh yeah, that was for the other quest. Let's do that. I remember Penhelmy, preening peacock of a man, his mouth dry and hands moist, when I told him he was a sole descendant of an Aedaran general, one who'd fought against Hadrit's rebellion. A forgery, and not the first I've seen. But I've no time for the knights and their obsessions. Bring this to his commander, Cliver, and show him the seal. If he compares it with another, he should be able to spot the difference. Sweet. I was invited by Webb. She doesn't take many visitors, but the ones she does invite are a fascinating lot. I've always marvelled at her choices. Nothing in common to my eyes, but her sight is far keener than mine. I wonder what it is she sees. It looks like you could use some help. So many secrets and trails in the city, you have to but turn a corner to find a fresh trace of something stolen or someone missing. Unfortunately, we haven't the time to investigate them all. I'm supposed to be working on other matters, but my mind still lingers on a few recent cases. Curse of a cipher to be ruled by the whims of curiosity. Well, tell me about them. One case, or three, depending on how you look at it. 3 weeks and a disappearance at the end of each. Some might call it a coincidence, I call it a clue. Lady Webb knows you, trusts you, so I shall trust you too. She hasn't spoken to me yet. So long as our interests are aligned, I'll look into it. Where should I start? Just like one of those Valian whodunits. Read a few of those on the road. Helps pass the time. Copper Lane, Andra's Gift and Brackenbury, of course, to talk to the ones who reported the disappearances, the only ones who know enough to care, Laura, Oli, and Elska? Who's missing? 2 men, 1 woman, Landry, Kendall and Cora. Tell me about Landry. Best to ask Oli. Seems they drank together at the Salty Mast in Andra's Gift. Also seems that no one else knew him well enough to miss him. And what about Kendall? Reported missing by that person. A dwarf who carried traces of fine wine and young dandies. Plenty of time and money to spend on her pleasures. Try Brackenbury. And Cora? Sister of Laura. Some people don't have any imagination at all, do they? One of the merchants in the Copper Lane Bazaar. Not the kind of person you would just disappear. Who would just disappear, it seems. And did you find any leads? Not yet. No obvious connection between them. Which makes me wonder, so... Could be animancy related. Researchers always need subjects. Well, if it was, then we've killed them in the dungeon of that place. The less scrupulous types in particular. Seems too risky for the sanitarium, but one never knows. Oh, I know. It's not in there. I wouldn't put it past them. Well, look, Alith, if they're there, they're no use to us now, are they? Talk first to the people who reported our victims missing. Mayhap you will catch something I missed. Okay. For now, though, I'm going to go and speak to this lady upstairs. See what she wants to talk about. Because that's why I came here in the first place. It looks like it's going to take a while to leave Defiance Bay. I mean, I can leave whenever I want, but... Obviously, I'd rather... Lady Webb, we'll see you now, he says. Is that her behind there? It's just an old lady with a robe on. This woman clutches a thick stack of parchment with spindly, wrinkled fingers, their flesh stretched thin to near translucence with extreme age. A gossamer veil over pale blue veins, ink splotches and candle burns dot and stripe her hands like a quilt, patterned after some great indescribable truth. She does not look up from her reading. I bet you this room smells of cabbage.
So, the messenger conveyed my summons. A miracle that would make the reincarnation of Aothis look like a child's canvas,
or worse.
surely. It doesn't draw the most inspired minds, messaging. They failed me so many times of late, I nearly sent a cipher after you instead. So this is the Watcher who...
It's a bit of a waste of their time, though, isn't it?
Oh, don't look so surprised. It isn't an attractive expression. I wouldn't be where I am for long if I let details like that escape me.
So it's true, those spies of hers don't miss much.
And this fiasco in the sanitarium that you seem to have gotten yourself into the middle of. What in blazes possessed you to stir that nest of trouble?
I'm investigating a strange group.
Does not begin to describe them.
Oh, so she knows who they are.
The practices of the Leaden Key defy all reason. You're not the only one with an interest in their recent activities. I've lost 4 ciphers this year alone trying to get someone inside their ranks. As it is, we only have our suspicions about who is in the group and what they intend, which I suppose means we have much in common with them. I asked you here because I wanted to know what your interest was in.
I don't know. What's her interest?
I thought perhaps we might help each other. Why are you looking for the Leaden Key?
Do I tell her this? I've not been telling him any of them this. I ran across a man in one of the ruins. It's important that I find him again. That's not untrue. She closes her eyes and the lids flicker, then her face goes still and her mouth parts, little more than a sliver, and her hand briefly drops open, spilling some of her parchment to the ground. The pages wafting around her legs like leaves of a dying tree. Her fleshy eyelids peel back and her gaze is immediately upon me.
Gods are cruel, I'm afraid. The man you seek is Theos Ix Arcanon, Grand Master of the Leaden Key.
Alright, yeah, he sounds dangerous then.
Elusive and dangerous men Aora has ever known.
How did you know that?
Because you have seen his face, and that makes it a simple matter for me to see it.
Oh, and I caught him in ceremonial clothes.
Ceremonial garb, it seems. It must have been a special occasion.
What can you tell me about him?
More than most, though very few would know so much as his name. And there is no way of knowing how much of what I've read is true. The Leaden Key dates back more than 2,000 years. If rumors are to be believed, Theos was the one who created it.
Right, okay.
Scraps of
2,000 years ago.
Suggest that he has died many times, only to be reborn each time exactly the same man. Awakened during adolescence with all the knowledge.
So he's orchestrating plots that take centuries.
His lifetimes. The plots he orchestrates sometimes take.
And he's one of
hundreds
Wodika's
years to
favoured.
bear fruit. Needless to say, this is not the natural order.
Obviously.
But he is said to be one of Wodika's favored, and that old bat was never one to let rules get in the way of favoritism. That may also
No, probably not.
explain another supposed
I think he is, like,
his body
disconcerting.
is no boundary to his soul, and he is known to take possession of others.
Oh.
If their souls are weakened.
So he can take bodies to
Often
deceive
before
people.
elaborate deceptions, but sometimes he simply forces them to kill themselves. He is not known for his generous supply.
Like what was going on with the person in the sanitarium.
He is also not one to show himself in any but their most critical matters. If he has directly involved himself in whatever the group plots now, it may be your only chance to find him. And once you do find him, if you can find him, I would not hold my hopes too high if I were you. He is a
Well,
driven,
you know, he's going to be
single-minded
dangerous, I'm sure.
He will not have the slightest concern for your problems.
How do you know so
The
much?
same way I come by all my knowledge. Exhaustive research, spying, bribery, perhaps some less sane
Fair enough.
Whatever the knowledge demands, I pay in full. There is nothing of greater value. Unfortunately, with Theos, there is
Yeah,
also
what about
nothing
Theos?
more scarce. He has covered his tracks far too well. His manipulations of the course of history are lost to time now, though I believe they were many.
Well, they probably were if he's been around that long. What else is there to know about the Leaden Key?
Precious little, I'm afraid. You may know much of it already. No one member knows the identity of more than
Yeah, that was the thing. They were very secretive.
They are kept in the dark of missions they are not involved in.
Like, really
or
secretive.
sometimes of those they are involved in. They exist to hide secrets they themselves don't know, if you can imagine how gullible someone must be for that to appeal.
I can imagine.
Despite that, they are very good at what they do, owing much to their founder, who will take matters into his own hands when necessary.
She says he doesn't fail.
He does not fail.
But obviously he does, because he dies at some points. Which means, at least for a brief time, he fails. And what do you want from me? So she just wants information.
Lately, and that is distressing news. I can only guess as to what they intend. You seem to have a knack for turning the stones.
I certainly do, don't I?
Keep turning them. Dunreed Row will not stop you.
Good.
Whatever it is they're up to, figuring it out will be of great use to both of us. In your
Yeah, but
case,
I get a feeling
I will
she's going to
surely
use it.
Point you to Theos. In return, I will share our knowledge with you as we learn it, and provide you with what assistance I can. If you find your trail has run cold, come to me with whatever you have. There is much I may be able to do for you.
Okay, well there is something I can tell
let's
you.
hear it.
Theos was in the sanitarium impersonating a patient, trying to damage the public's opinion of animancy.
Forgive me, it is unlike Theos to leave witnesses. He must be furious. He did not
Probably,
aid you
yeah.
as you'd hoped, I take it? Well, take heart. With any luck, when he has finished his business, he will surely come and find you again, if only to kill you while you sleep.
Yeah, possibly.
News of yours makes sense, of course. To dabble in animancy is to puzzle over the secrets of the gods.
Yeah.
This would not
Yeah,
be
and
Yankees
he wouldn't want anyone else
against
doing that.
But if this is connected to their other activities, we may be in for something on a much larger scale.
Possibly.
If we can learn more about their goals and methods, perhaps we can get the palace behind us. With Avar's support, we may be able to put a stop to this.
Well, hopefully we can. That's all I can tell her for
Try
now,
your
so...
best not to die out there.
Yeah, I'll try. I'm trying every single time. So she wants to know about their activities as and when we learn anything about them. But if she's so good at spying on people, what does she need our help for? Okay, so we've got a couple of missions we can complete in and around this area now. Just to maybe try and get that breastplate back for the one guy. So let's do that first. Or, let me think. So we've got a guy we need to deal with in... Yeah, no. Yeah, we'll go and hopefully turn in... What mission was it? That one, we can't do. That one we can't do right now. That one we need to visit some cliffs. It's the Rogue Knight one. Document offers a fake affidavit created to hide Penhelm's tainted soul legacy. Karen has suggested his superior officer at Crucible Keep can have him dealt with. So Crucible Keep is where we're going. Oh. Penhelm. Here he is. I just read that and there he is. Just talked to that little cipher, did you? One of my novitiates told me he'd seen someone in the records room. Give me the affidavit. I've done nothing to you. Cheer up, you always thought you were someone special, soon everyone will know who you are. I won't let you ruin me over this. Why would you do something so stupid right in the middle of the street? And he's dead. Like immediately. Imagine attacking us in the street like this. I mean, okay, I did mock him a little bit, but... Why's it gone dark? I don't know. It's a pity I have to kill these guys. Because most of them are probably not idiots, just the guy they're with was.
I wish we'd brought a sled.
A sled? Oh, there's Osric's breastplate, we can give it to him now. So we go back to Osric now. Well, that saved us a bit of bother, didn't it? We didn't have to go and tell anyone, we could just... What we will do is we will go and show the affidavit to the guy as well, I guess, maybe. Unless we don't have to. In which case, never mind. But yeah, let's sort out this little problem here. If I remember rightly as well, this unlocks another quest for us. So head to Admeth's Den. Oh yeah, we can sell all the junk we've got. That kid wants a knife. That I still haven't got for him. Yeah, up here. Yeah, we'll try and get rid of some of this stuff from the from our inventory if there's... Yeah, there we go.
Well met, friend.
Show me your wares. Okay, what can we sell? What's that? Sugar. It's worthless. We can have that. Yep, that can go, that can go. Just get rid of that. It's no use to me, really. Arrow-breaker, go. I feel like the spells are useful. Maybe not to me. Oh, better sell off that stuff. Got way too much money though. If that's even possible. Oh yeah, we need to keep that for... Yeah, I was going to see if that would be useful for anyone. But we'll sell those. Nope. Okay, let's see. Get rid of all the rest of this. An egg's worth nothing, but we'll get rid of it. We worked out that that wasn't particularly great. Well, we don't want that. Now we just need to sell any rubbish in here. That looks like it could be useful, actually. Hopefully this will let me sell off the last of the stuff now. Without too much difficulty. Yeah, I'll keep that for now. There we go. Do we have any? Oh no. I'm just wondering if we have any more stuff that's useful there. No, we don't. Okay, well that's that done. We've lightened our load quite a bit. In fact, I'll tell you what I'm going to do as well. If I can move some of this stuff. Oh no, I wanted those. Okay, I'll get them back in a second. I'm going to put away the stuff that I don't really need. I wonder actually. Things like that, I don't really need that. Well, where did that... what? I need to sell those then, I didn't even realise I still had them. Like notes and things that we don't need anymore. Can I like sort these? It'd be great if I could like sort this. But it doesn't look like there's any way to do that. Okay. For now that's good. Oh, excuse me. Oh, come on, inside. This will allow us to give back Osric's armour. And clear another quest. Although then it allows us to get access to expeditions too, I believe. Get so caught up in so many missions here. Osric, is this your armour? You were right about the affidavit. Unfortunately, Penhelm forced me into a fight. Shame it ended like that, but he's the lying weasel who started this. You did all I asked, and you're owed much. Stop by Sonild's shop on the other side of the hall. She sells some of the best gear in the city. What is the armour? Just a keepsake. Why do I not believe that? It commemorates the Order of Magrin, highest order of valour awarded to the dead, never the living. As Durwoodens, real Durwoodens, we don't have nobility or birthrights, unless you're from Ader. All we got's the honour we bring to our family name. So this is something to live up to. Okay, goodbye. We completed that quest. Now I'm just interested to see if that allows us to do anything from Wayne in here. Do you know of a place in the wilderness with colourful pools and a waterfall that rises? You're looking for Searing Falls. Fantastic place. The thermal springs alone are worth the journey. Falls are so hot, most of the water turns to steam. That's the rising you were talking about.
I do have something, if you don't mind stepping on the toes of the Crucible Knights.
Dominels won't be too pleased either.
Dominels won't be too pleased either. Some of my
What is
other
it?
expeditions have come back with a rumor about a place called Leia Remen up near
Leia Remen.
It's supposed to hold some of
The greatest weapons ever made. The knights are meddling in animancy, befouling souls to build metal warriors. Surely you've got enough sense to see how well that's going to go. If there's anything that can stand a chance against this madness, it's weapons made by the Engwithans themselves. They made the same kinds of abominations in their time. They'd know how to kill them. I've sent the giant slayers after the weapons, but they haven't had much luck so far. They're better fighters than treasure hunters. Meet up with them at Wood End Plains and see how far they've gotten. If you can get those weapons, I'll see you get your cut. It's a harm in arming a bunch of angry folks that don't like to think all that much. Yeah, no harm at all. Obviously. Right, let's have a quick look around here. Because we've got these as well. The Blade of the Endless Paths. Yeah, we need to find that. Abandoned Farm on the path to Durford. We'll do that at some point. Merchant selling weaponry has the dagger. The March Steel Dagger. I'm aware of where that is. I'm aware of where the guy is we're looking for that. I wonder, do we still need to turn in that affidavit to that guy? Okay, I don't know if this is a great idea, but we're going to get this knife for this kid that asked us for it. You know, it's not like in the modern times where you buy someone a knife and they might accidentally, hurt themselves, but everyone's got weapons here, everyone's running around with swords.
Whoever looked up and felt a sudden surprise at where you are? I think it's just sunk in that I'm a year out from home.
Here he is.
Greetings. You'll get used to it.
Let me see what you have for sale first, because there's some stuff I forgot to sell earlier. Like that and that. Mainly those. Yeah, just those, in fact. Does he have any... Nothing useful.
Good
Okay,
day,
I also
stranger.
hear you have a dagger made of March steel. He sold it to some adventurers. Where did they go? Folk like that only visit Copper Lane to crew up at Admouth's Den, or down a pint at the Goose and Fox, and since they weren't headed into the den, well, you've got my best guess. Tell me about it. Made of high purity iron ore that comes out of the White March Mountains. Traditionally, the smiths have smelted it into daggers and swords, which they only give to the Knights of the Crucible. That kid's led us on to something that maybe is definitely interesting. And the people that he's suggesting got it are apparently only inside this building here. So we may as well give it a try. See if we can find them, see if we can find the weapon. I think the chances are that they'll give it to us. Maybe they'll sell it to us. Certainly got plenty of money to pay them. Maybe. Depends, they might ask for like, 27,000 coins, in which case I might have some trouble. An actress, a patron, a guy. Wonder if he can tell me anything. Do you know anything about a March steel dagger? I haven't seen anything like that cross my bar, but I wouldn't wager against someone here having a blade like that. Check upstairs. I saw a group going up there carrying lots of steel. Yeah, that sounds promising. Where are the stairs? Let's go up and see what they're doing. A group of like 6 warriors in it. Where are the stairs? Hey, go visit them upstairs where there isn't. Oh, yeah, it's over there. Round the bar. And up we go. I'm sure I want to go upstairs, yes. The thing is, are you allowed to have one of these weapons? I don't know. If it's only supposed to be held by the knights, should we really have them? Right, let's see if we can find this group. Is this them here? Dreadshot Daedon. He's busy felling a spur. She nods, a pint in one hand and a mace over her shoulder. And he raises a hand in greeting, but he's not really interested in talking to us. What about this guy? Girl. She nods, a cup of wine in her hand and a scepter across her lap. But she's not interested in... or she's not helping us. I could probably open that.
As requested.
Thanks. Wait, there's another one. But we can't open that one. That one is unopenable. Oh, here's some people, but nobody we need to speak to, really. What about in here? There's a story. We'll take it. Even if we don't read it, we can sell it. You get all right money for books, fiction and non-fiction in this game. Again, these are people that we can look at weird visions from. But it takes so long. Okay, there's nobody up here of any interest. What are you talking about? Oh, there's some people upstairs that might have done it, but there's nobody upstairs. What are you doing? The stairs are there, just go down the stairs. Weird. Okay. So they weren't upstairs. Which means they might be down. Or they might not be in here at all. What about these guys? Am I here for words of wisdom from some random? Probably not. Yeah, there's nobody here with this knife. There isn't. There's nobody here that's got this. I mean, it's not a full mission as such. It's... Yeah, but they're not there. Kofag lives in Andra's Gift. That was where we were going to go next. Andra's Gift. Cliffs. Dunstan wants this at the Crucible Keep. Okay, let's go to the Crucible Keep. I don't know where these people are with this knife, but it's not the end of the world. Yet. I just don't think I'm going to be able to bring this boy what he wants. Which mission will we do? Yeah, we'll go to the Keep, because I want to see if, as well as doing that mission there, I want to see if I can turn anything else in for them. Obviously this is a game that will last a very long time, and so we'll probably, over the next little while, look at doing
Of all the things I've gotten used to,
some other
food
stuff.
is the hardest adjustment.
I
Food.
quite agree. Deer wouldn't oversalt everything and drown it in sauce.
And they burn out all the flavor. Nothing like a raw deer flank.
Yeah, nothing. Okay, so where was that place again? It wasn't Brackenbury, it's in First Fires, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's here. And then obviously there's lots of stuff for us to do outside of town, but I feel like there's lots of stuff for us to do inside of town as well. Well, let's find out. Sometime soon. And from here, this area, we can head to Andra's Gift afterwards to find that other guy. Yeah, Crucible Keep down there. And that'll let us turn in one mission at least. If I can work out how to get in anytime soon. Yeah, we're almost there. There's a lot of little ruined tower bits and stuff like that too. Surprised, we don't get confronted by enemies more often, given we're just running around with our weapons drawn. Be interested if there's a way to like holster our weapons. There's nothing at the stronghold that's needing to be worried about right now. Oh, excuse me. Aldmar. No, you're not who I want to talk to. Justice CR. Where was the guy again that was in charge? Oh yeah. This way. This way. Now, the question is, will they know that I killed their guy, and if so, will they want to attack me? Cliver. There's Vienna's notes. Bring them to Dunstan at once. When you're done, I might have more work. Now, where's Dunstan? Is he in here? No, this is just that weird temple thing that you can put stuff, I guess put stuff onto the altar for. Where is Dunstan? Wasn't that a film with like a... Who's this? This is about patrols. My novitiates are already stretched to the limit between the refugee influx and the mess at Heritage Hill. What's wrong at Heritage Hill? We might be able to get into Heritage Hill here. What isn't wrong is the real question. The whole district of walking flesh-eating corpses. Sounds like fun. They're coming to get you, Wyla. We sealed the area 2 months ago, just after I lost one of my finest commanders there, and yet this is the second guard rotation to disappear. There are already enough rumours about the place floating around the keep without my soldiers whispering about these disappearances. I'd just as soon abandon the district, but if those monsters should find a way out, I could look into it. From what I've just told you, you want to go to Heritage Hill? I've lost trained soldiers there. Why should I let anyone in? I'm not going to do that. Seems you could use the help. If you're to rush to your death, I won't stop you. If you're able to put a stop to this, you've got my permission to enter Heritage Hill. Excellent. So that was the last area in this city that access was restricted to, but it's no longer restricted. I think we needed to get in there anyway for one of the other people that was there. So where's this Dunstan guy? Because I haven't seen him yet. Yeah, I'm sure, wasn't that a film with like an orangutan or something? That's Dunstan. Clever said you're working with an animancer to build Forge Knights.
Aye, I'm building Cleaver's Metal Warriors. He says they're what we need to keep order in Defiance Bay, so...
And you need Vienna's research to complete them. Bind them too loosely, they'll be too self-aware for their own good. Do you disagree about the Forge Knights? I disagree with them in near about everything, and this is no exception. These Forge Knights won't solve our manpower problem. Call them what they want, but they aren't knights. Doesn't take Itumak's nose to smell the trouble here. A group that can't stand together is headed for a fall. And don't get me started on the other problem. These souls he's bought to power the forge. Knights? Cleaver keeps telling himself that they've come from willing donors, but he knows better. There's a reason you have to buy souls through less than legal channels. We should be clearing those scavengers off the road, not doing business with them. Enough about the Forge Knights. I think this is what you've been looking for.
That's what Cleaver's been looking for anyway. If you found it, I guess I've got to start.
You don't sound happy about it though. Yeah, he said that. He's not happy. Anyway, Cleaver's told me I'm to sell any arms or armor you might want. You won't find anything better.
Time to see if that Valian was worth all that blood and copper.
Probably not. I hope you're not going to create these Forge Knights.
Damn. To be honest, even I wasn't expecting it to work this well.
Let's see what you got for sale then. You say you've got great stuff. I could do with finding a two-handed weapon. It's not that good, is it? The finesse stock's about the same as my two-handed sword already. Yeah, I mean, he sells fine weapons, but... Oh, look. A Forge Knight. They don't talk much. At all. Okay. Well, that's that mission turned in. What's next? The next thing would be to head down to Ondra's Hope. Find the random guy that we're supposed to talk to. I know exactly who he is. Just remembered exactly who he is, should I say. And hopefully we can clear up this little mess with pricing. this area. And then I don't know what we'll do.
You've been on your own for 5 years,
I've had Itamok.
but you can't talk to him.
My standards changed around year 2.
I think she can talk to him. It's just he won't answer back. And maybe that's not such a bad thing. Okay, here we go. We'll head to Andra's. I keep saying Andra's Hope. It's Andra's Gift. We can go to Heritage Hill now if we want. But we're going here. Heritage Hill is the place where all of these zombies or whatever are. And I guess if we go hunting there, we might find what's causing it, and maybe we can take them down. That sounds like a very action-packed episode ahead. Okay, so we were supposed to find. Is that Colfeg? I don't know exactly what his name is, but it was his house I think we're supposed to find. Is it this one? Yeah, it's that one. But what are we going to do to him? We were told we could do whatever we wanted to him. Including torture or, I don't know. I don't really want to do that. I'd rather just say to him, hey, I'm a friend of Bracanta Dominel. Now wait a minute, I'm staying clear of the Dominels. Surely we can put this behind us. I won't hurt you, but you've got to leave Defiance Bay. Bracanta's obviously got it in for you. You have to tell me twice. They won't find me, I promise. Andra, bless you. There we go. That has resolved that problem, I believe. Quite easily, in fact. Was there something else we had to do in this area, or was that it? We'll soon find out. I'll check my details. If he escapes the town and he never comes back, I'm sure that'll be okay, right? Well, let's see. Okay. Meet the giant slayers of Woodland Plains. Oh, I need to speak to these people about that quest as well. We'll do that event. We'll do that soon enough. Hall of Revealed Mysteries in Copper Lane. So now I should speak to Bracanta Dominel again and tell her. Forgaz visions at a cave, a place with multiple. We know that we want to go to Siren Falls for that. We need to find those cliffs, and those are at Kednua again. Okay, well.
You had 5 siblings?
Let's go find. There's a guy down here that we're supposed to talk to that apparently goes to the brothel, Oli or whatever his name is.
Yes, I can imagine that comes in
While we're here, we may as well ask him the questions we've got. Oh, there's that sailor still sleeping it off. It's obviously taken a lot out of him. Okay, so let's find this Ollie or Oli or whatever his name is. See what he can tell us about this missing person we're looking for. And then we'll go back and we'll tell the woman that we got rid of that guy. Then we'll have to come back here again and then say, yeah, here you go, you've got all your stuff, and so on and so forth. Maya, guard, patron, Linus or Linus or Lines. I don't know. That's like an office or something. I'm not too interested in going there. You might find some racy literature. Oracle. Not who I'm looking for. Ollie. He's at a table by himself, but he constantly glances at the opposite bench as if waiting for someone. He reeks of alcohol and he moves with the torpor of someone who's gotten used to spending most of his time drunk. Table's taken, find another. I'm asking about Lendry. What's it to you? I'm your new drinking buddy and I've got questions for you. Lendry was your friend. The least you can do is answer a few questions. Yeah, fine, you don't have to get your small clothes in a knot about it. When did you last see him? Right here, getting drinks with me, just like we have every night for the last 5 years. I couldn't actually tell you much about him, and I think he preferred it that way. It's probably why we got on so well, plenty of things we didn't talk about. Who's the woman you were talking about? Anyway, I remember. He said things were finally turning around, he was going to find a steady job, clean up, have another crack at the respectable life. Told him in that case he could buy the drinks. That's when she showed up. Who? A real fancy lady named Lumdala. I saw her somewhere. I don't remember much these days, but I remember her. Usually you have to pay a month's copper to spend time with a woman like that, but Lumdala, she was falling all over Lendry that night. Left with him too. Is this some kind of red-headed league type thing? Where did they go? She said they were going on to see some frilly performance. If you ask me, they had their own plans to perform that night. She just said they had to pick something up at her house in Copper Lane first. Some cosy little place by the Northern Gate. That's where I remember the name. There's a house there. Even a drunk like me knows what that means. For what it's worth, she said she earns her coin over at that amphitheatre in Copper Lane. And that's where I spoke to her. That's where she said they were going to see their show. Maybe someone there saw him. Tell me anything about him? Yeah, he doesn't know much. Right, let me know if you find him, yeah, because that bastard owes me a round if he's found the good life. I don't think he has. I don't think he has. Right, so back to... I'm hoping that we can get rid of this Dominel and Salty Mast quest. The Salty Mast, yes. It's a brothel, and you can imagine what the Salty Mast might represent. A large piece of wood on a ship that's been ravaged by the seas, of course. Don't be dirty-minded. Because I'm not honest. Okay, so let's go and turn this in and see if we can... Stalwart sends a plea for assistance. They've been attacked by ogres. I fear they could be sacked any day. It'd be a shame to sack somebody for being attacked by ogres. I know that's not what it means. Brackenbury. You're letting all these ogres, you're sacked. Oh. That's not fair. If only they were all like Shrek. He's apparently both love and life.
You fought for the Deerwood in the Saints' War?
Let's try not to remember that.
No complaints
Kendall? Kendall mint cake? Wait a minute.
Hail and well met.
Oh, this is the person, this is another one of those missing people. I'm investigating Kendall's disappearance. That little Orlin finally got serious about this case, eh? I'm looking into the disappearance for him. Was that little whelp too good for a case like this? Dunwood Row is strapped for resources at the moment. Well, I'm glad someone's on it. Anyway, I'll tell you whatever I can. What do you need to know? Well, tell me about Kendall first. He was a pretty young lad. Not the brightest of the bunch, but always pleasant company. How do you know him? We met up from time to time over the past few months. It was just a fling, really. Wasn't going to last. He was a little fool, but a sweet little fool. What was he doing before he disappeared? The worst rendition of the general speech from the Widow of the Wood that I've ever heard. I love that fellow, but it was a tragic failure, yet somehow he managed to get in with the enacting troupe. Lumdala! When and where did you last see him? A week ago he came back to my house for a bit of fun. Afterwards we fell asleep. When I woke up he was gone. No, nothing. Had you noticed anything different lately? Started hanging out with a bunch of actors, seemed alright except for that woman with her long willowy legs and slender arms. Always came round wearing these low-cut dresses and impossible shoes. Her name? Don't know, never cared to learn it. Didn't realise it might be that important. That's all I need to know for now. A vision is shaping up on what might have occurred with these 3 missing people. Seems odd that he wouldn't have come to the same conclusion and spoken to her, though. I would assume he probably did. We'll see. Okay, so let's go upstairs and give her the information she needs. Bit of quid pro quo, eh? Very important thing to do at the moment. Quid pro quo, you know, one hand washing the other. Very interested in the fact that a lot of people seem to be reacting as if they're washing their hands for the first time recently.
Good day, stranger.
I've dealt with Colfeg. It makes me glad indeed. Tell me about it. Don't leave out a single detail. He's dead. He's not, but he's dead. Now that I've helped you out, how about you make bitter squash more affordable from Maya's lot? Fair enough. Never let it be said I don't give as much as I get. Thanks. Now I can turn in that quest. Don't need to converse for too long with her. Go back to Mia now. And then she will sort the pricing out there, and then I can go to the next person and say, hey, and they'll let me finally finish this quest, if I'm lucky. And once we get this quest finished, we'll probably finish up for tonight. Because I think that's what we have to do, really. Okay. So yeah, that's a few quests we've turned in there that were all moderately interesting. Did we speak to this person? Should have seen the looks on these nobles' faces when I moved in. Oh, that's the woman we gave the 6,000 copper to, the former prostitute. Back to Andra's gift we go. It's a kind of back and forward situation right now, isn't it? Okay, back we go, back here. Heritage Hill claims another curious soul. Let's hope it doesn't take ours. Trade of Engwithan artifacts is strictly forbidden. We've been sent to go and get some, haven't we? By the dozens. Do I really want to work with them? Just don't know. I just don't know. So then we'll talk to her about lowering her prices, which hopefully she will. And at that stage we should then be able to get these guys that were attacking her to back off. I hope. Hey.
You do.
The Dominels have agreed to lower the price of bitter squash just for you. She's we're celebrating, I'll see the rest of the district can afford to celebrate too. What can I do for a strapping lad like yourself? Nothing, bye. So do I have to go and tell them now that they can get their stuff again, they can get access again? Does that mean the prices have gone down? Okay, do I need to... What I want to know is, do I now need to go to anyone else about that? Let's see. No, there we go. It's done. It is done. We need to do that. We need to do that. Hall of Revealed Mysteries. We spoke about Ollie and Elga. But we didn't speak to Laura about her... I tell you what, we'll do that and then we'll finish. Because that will put us on track for finishing that mission next time. Plus, what's her name? Lumdala is in that place anyway. What do you think she's doing? Some kind of... I don't know. Using some sort of seductive power, a succubus perhaps. Hopefully not. Or, you know, I don't know. Were they all male, the people that disappeared? Oh no, there was someone's sister as well, so... But that doesn't necessarily change anything. Come on, you. Load. Right, here we are. Back in this district. We'll speak to the third person, but I've got a feeling I have an idea who we're dealing with here. Thank you. My Rowena and I can finally have peace, he says. By you forcing her to stay alive inside some kind of necklace. So yeah. The person we're talking about is this woman here. I'm not going to speak to her right this second. Because I don't want to give things away too much. But I get a feeling we need to go and speak to her. Ask her what she can tell us about those people. So this is the other person, this merchant here, Laura. I'm looking into some wait a minute. I'm looking into some disappearances. I hear your sister went missing. I didn't think anyone would help me. When Cora disappeared, I tried Dunwood Row, the Crucible Knights, even the Dozens. No one had time to look. That was 3 weeks ago. Tell me about her. She's my younger sister, always had a head full of dreams. She was convinced there was something special waiting for her, that she'd be remembered and happy and important. She's got plenty of heart, but not the commitment to match. She got that theatre job. Yeah, about this time we can pretty much say. What was she doing? She got into the acting troupe called the... You know this? The Revel of Stars, that's it. Yeah, what a surprise. When and where did you last see her? She's at her house getting ready for a big performance. Did you see her with anyone? She's very sociable. She always enjoyed crowds. I can't narrow it down beyond that. Yeah, I think I know where she might be, where she was. Do we question her or do we go and look at her house? Oh, I don't think we could get in her house, could we? Let's try. No. Let's see if we can get into her house. I can't remember. I'm sure that when I tried it, you couldn't get in. Well, we can. We'll see if we can find anything odd in here. Yeah, you know what? We'll finish this quest, or at least the Lamdala quest, before anything else. Let's see what's in here. Not that there's much to find. It's a fairly empty place, to be honest. We have been in here. And we haven't discovered anything out of the ordinary. Well, apart from this locked door that we need the key for. I hope she hasn't been eating these people for dinner. But maybe she has. There's some music at this at times that sounds like something from Oblivion or something. I think I mean specifically from Oblivion. Maybe I'm wrong. But it's just got some similarities to something that I can't quite put my finger on. But it is very nice. Regardless. So we got to cross to this little island where their little theatre is. There we go. See what she says. See if she tries to hide anything, if she tells us what's going on. It's odd that no one's questioned her.
Good day, stranger.
I was wondering if a woman named Cora was part of your group. Can't say I recognise the name. She seems focused on her fingernails. It's odd, her sister said she was part of the group. Maybe, but what should I know about it? My work requires great focus and attention. I don't have time to coach every young amateur who joins our troupe for a week. I'm looking for Kendall. Not sure who this Kendall is or why you would malign our talent, but rest assured we have a process for evoking a satisfying performance from even the most inexperienced players. Ollie said his friend Landry was last seen with you. That drunken Ondra's gift, men flatter themselves when it comes to the attentions of a beautiful woman. The pallid knight herself could waltz into that bar, and he'd believe she was there to sit on his lap and listen to bawdy stories. How did she know who he was? That reminds me, have you heard the one about the fisherwoman and the long-finned ice sucker? Perhaps I should tell it another time. I trust his word more than yours. He has nothing to gain by lying. Nothing gained but a little tavern hall admiration. The men there compete with tales of conquest they can only dream of. How does she know this if she's never been there? You find his performance convincing enough. I con her sort nigh to be trusted, so he says he knows her sort, and she's not to be trusted. Surely there's someone else you can ask about all this. I am a humble actor. You're connected to 3 recent disappearances that you claim to know nothing about. Then what do you expect me to say on the subject? If you excuse me, I have a performance to attend to. Meet me in Lumdala's house, I know what's going on. Well done indeed. Okay, let's go meet him in our house then. And get attacked, no doubt. Let's try and use us to help spur their performances. I got a bad feeling about this. And we'll make it the last action of the night, I think. Let's do it. Here's where we get attacked. By a troupe of actors who'll never leave this building. I mean, if they attack us, they'll never leave this building. So I hope they see some sense. Guess we'll find out. Well, where is he? There he is. I saw you with Lumdala by the amphitheatre, Luke. I don't know what your business with her is, but I want out of this mess. I just came to grab my things. Let me leave, alright? You told me to come and meet you. Take a breath and calm down. Tell me what's going on so I can help. There's not much time. Lumdala's out to get me and I need to get out of here, maybe out of the city. This opens the door behind you. There's a passage in there leading down to a theatre. It's easier if you see it for yourself. Since I've helped you, I want your promise that you'll leave my name out of this. Yeah, all I care about is preventing another disappearance. What you did before is irrelevant. Thank you and good luck. And for all I know, he's involved somehow. Oh look, it's a very secret door. We're into the catacombs again. We've already been in the catacombs. A different section of the catacombs? This is probably a good way to end the evening, actually, with a bit of action. A simple silken scarf is crumpled on filthy flagstones. Essence radiates from it like heat. Focus on the scarf. The world around me shifts, and something about me shifts too. The fabric's still in her hands, but we're in a small yet cosy house, and Laura's looking from the scarf to me, asking if you like it. That was 4 years ago, but you still wear the scarf on days like today. So that's her sister's scarf. Feel the audience's eyes upon you. You were nervous at first when the woman brought you here. You wondered what kind of show you'd signed up for. Reach the end of your monologue and the scarf tightens around your neck. It chokes the final line from your throat. You try to pull it off, it only tightens further. You see everyone's eyes, hungry, attentive look, and you understand. The stage fades to black. Yeah. Aha, here she is. Isn't our friend from Dunwood Row. You're a monster, how could you do this to these people? Quite easily, my patrons appreciate true art, and they pay well for it. The actors, on the other hand, they were nobodies. In death I gave them purpose. Consider this your last performance. Yeah, I'm not going to mess about. She's horrible, she's some kind of monster. And she needs to fall. Because she's been using people. And you. What's that? Ring of protection. Yeah, we'll have all that. So there we go. She was luring actors down here and then killing her for the entertainment of, well, who knows, some horrendous people, apparently. Well, that's good enough for me, so that's where we're going to stop for tonight. Hope you've enjoyed more Pillars of Eternity and looking at these interesting things and these creepy people that are all around this city and everywhere in the game, it would appear. But for now, if you've enjoyed watching that, please feel free to drop a follow there on Mixer. And also, if you're watching me on YouTube at Supernautus Streams, please feel free to add a like and maybe drop a subscription too, if you're enjoying what you're seeing. For now though, thanks very much guys. I'll catch you all again next time. Good night.